Gonna make it right tonight, tonight, tonight. Oh, make it right tonight, tonight, tonight. Whoa. As we hello, we had two people in here already. All right, good way to start off. Hello, second person. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully, all is well. Hopefully, all is well with you tonight. Glad you could make it. We're just gonna wait on a few more people before I get started. Um, but I got like three comic stories to go through, but actually I switched. Actually, I technically could go through four, but I should just switch one of them out that I said yesterday I would do. So I'll kind of give more details when we see if we can get a few more people in here. Excuse me a moment when I go off camera here for a sec. Oh yeah. Thank you for the like and the share. Hopefully we can get some more people in here. Do appreciate that. The more people part of the conversation. Um, so how you doing tonight? Yeah, get going with some small talk here while we wait. La dee dee da dee da. 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 Hmm. Let's see now. So, um, how'd your day go today? See, there is a second person here, so hopefully you'll say something to let me know who it is. Please give me some kind of clue with some kind of response. Hmm. Yeah, so as I said, gonna probably covering some. Actually, it's gonna be more like interviews to that extent because um, over the past week here, I guess there's a couple Oh, here we go. Finally, somebody said, "Hey, Woody, thank you for saying hi." Finally, it's too much pressure, man. Well, I mean, I need somebody to say something. You know, got three people in here now. Yay! Hey, Woody, how are things going with you, my friend? Three people in here, and if you can, try to remember to. Just kidding. Try to, if you can, like and share so we can see if we can get some more people in here. That would really help. Just kidding. Yeah, I figured you were. Uh, Woody, how'd your day go today? Excuse me a moment. I go off screen here. We're almost at the 5 minute mark here. Yeah. Lovely time. So what? Lovely time. Let's see. I've been completely engrossed in my computer hobby. Okay. Yeah, that usually. Yeah, I know. I've been doing that too. Just Basically, you just spent the majority of your day in front of your computer, huh? Yeah, same here. Hey, Dave, what's up, man? Howdy, Woody. Hey, Mike. Hey, Dave. Glad to see you, man. Yeah, I got some comic news tonight that I'll be covering, so hopefully you'll stick around a bit at least to hear some of it. Um, yeah, when we get some more people in here, and get to it. Let's see, we're almost at the 6 minute mark here, and we're at three people, maybe four. Um, as I said, I'm just waiting for some more people to show up before I get started here. Um, think about how fast this goes. If you guys can remember to like and share, that will help too. See if we can get some more people in here. Um, you know how it goes, and have some good conversations here. Hey Dave, how'd your day go today? Do anything exciting today? I guess you'd been working, huh? I'm sleepy, but I've got 2 days off, so sleep can suck my big hairy PA. Okay, interesting, colorful language there, my friend. Uh, yeah, so we got four people in here now. Goody, yay! Four people. Yeah. Oh, at this rate, looks like we got at least a nice little crowd. Maybe I'll start at the 10 minute mark tonight since we already got a nice little pocket of people going here. Toes? Yeah, maybe. Uh, hey, Pickle. Hey, sorry, notifications don't show. Yeah, sometimes they're a little tricky, I guess. Um, Actually, it's kind of funny because sometimes I'll see the notifications actually later than this. So, um, evening pickle. Woody, Dave, are you guys getting notifications on time for my streams or no? Just so I have maybe I got to do something there at some point. Well, Pickle's telling me he I guess wasn't getting or he didn't get the notifications or they didn't show for some reason. Um, are you guys having the same issues? Maybe I do need to start setting those. Okay, it might be on my end. No, I don't get the notifications, and from my settings, I should be. Okay, so maybe it is something on. Maybe it's some. Don't forget to hit the bell. Yeah, got five people in here now. Great, nice to see five people in here now. All right, well, I'll I will definitely double check that. Maybe I just simply need to start um setting those notifications on my end or something like that. Um, because I know for me, sometimes what I've seen is I get the notification for my own live stream, like even though I have the thing set up for like 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, I get the notification at 10 Pacific. So maybe I just need to modify that on future things. That might help. Hey ATC, we see you here. Um, I don't get notifications to my phone because I disabled that from the YouTube app, but I do get notifications when I look at the Okay, so at least some of you are getting it. Congrats on breaking the 100 sub bubble, Mike. Well, thank you, ATC. I did that over the. It's kind of funny because I did that after I went on Nick's call-in show the other night, so that was pretty cool. It's funny because from that show, I ended up getting like 13 people who ended up subscribing to me. Drexel was actually one of them, and then like a person unsubscribed, and then I get two more like yesterday. So I mean, it's been kind of evening action. Um, my mistake. My settings weren't correct, so things might be all right after all on your end. Okay. All right. So yeah, we got 6 people in here now. We're just passing. So we're about 11 and a half minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started then, since we have a nice little pack here, a nice little group here. Hey guys, I hope you guys have had a good day today. So here's what's on tap today. Um, Today I'm going to cover some comic stories, more or less some interviews. A couple of interviews, I guess, that Chuck Dixon did last week, and also there's another one that looked like Nick Searcy, the Justified actor Nick Searcy. I think they're all pretty interconnected. So I was thinking about doing the whole new DC announcement. I know Flash had done that. I was originally going to do that, but I figured now just cover the Nick Searcy story instead. So um, let's see what you guys have in here. Hey, Dave. Hey, Woody. Wrench Squad salute. Yep. Well, we're back down to 5 now. 5 again. Well, hope if somebody did leave that they'll come back soon. Um, so, anyways, so without no further ado, then, um, let's get started um, on some of these stories here. So, here we go. Hey, guys. Okay, so let me see here. Okay. Okay, so here's the first story I'm going to cover here. How much suspense and action can you stand? See Captain America defy the communist hordes. Chuck Dixon reveals Marvel Comics rejected his pitch for an anti-communist Captain America. This is from last week, of course, but since we were doing some other things, it was last Thursday. So here we go. We're gonna get right into it. Captain America, Commie Smasher, Captain America striking back at the Soviet. So they did do something to that effect, I guess. Let's see. Marvel got rejected his pitch for it. Okay. Let's see what Chuck Dixon had to say about all this. Prolific Batman writer and the creator of Bane, Chuck Dixon, recently revealed that Marvel Comics rejected his pitch for an anti-communist Captain America. Dixon revealed that both he and his Bane co-creator Graham Nolan made the pitch in his latest Ask Chuck Dixon video on YouTube. Dixon's revelation came in response to a comment from Vince Tapley, who wrote the author the original Captain America comics, Bucky, pre-Silver Age, lived. He was shot, wounded, and written out of the books to add a female partner for Cap. Never did care for the rewrite of the Golden Age events of Captain America at Marvel in the 60s and 70s. Dixon responded, I like Captain America. He made a big impact on me when he suddenly popped up in the Avengers unannounced because everything in comics back then was unannounced until you got to the newsstand and saw the next issue. They didn't even hint this was coming. Big secret kept by Marvel from comic book readers everywhere. Well, I mean, one of Marvel's titles over the years, as I recall, is Tales of Suspense. So, let's see what you guys are see what you guys have said thus far. I imagine a wrench squash salute involves purposefully accidentally hitting yourself with a wrench, like the monks in Monty Python Holy Grail. Yeah, we love using that word accidental, especially with what we talked about yesterday, huh? Ha 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 ha. Ha. Let's see. Yay, ESU Domine Dona Eis Requiem. Okay. Laugh out loud. Oh my God. Thwack. Tales of Suspense is a great series. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and I was just referencing that just to add a little more color to this, obviously. Um, let's see now. I like especially this short run in the 70s. Gil Kane and John Romita were on the book. There were some awesome Shield based stories with Red Skull and stuff like that he added. And I guess here's some of the comic from that. You die at midnight. Here's some of the panels artwork from that time period. Dixon then went on to lament how Marvel portrayed 50s Captain America. He explained, I've always been disappointed in how they treat 50s Cap. And 50s Cap went from fighting Nazis to fighting commies. He made a pretty easy transition there, battling our former Soviet allies, keeping them out of the United States, crushing their conspiracies to end our democracy, all that kind of thing. So, I mean, you could basically argue your Chuck Dixon's no SJW. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, I read another interview of his a while back, and you can tell he's no SJW. So that's kind of nice to see. These are also by John Romita. Um, Coincidentally, and I kind of like this portrayal. Marvel stopped publishing superheroes for a few years and brought Cap and Human Torch and Submariner back and some terrific comics for a very short run. Their return to superheroes kind of failed with readers because at the time, crime and horror comics and romance comics ruled the day. Oh yeah, and they're probably talking about in the 40s and 50s there. Now the thing is, prior to being known as Marvel, I think they changed their name to Marvel in the 60s. The the predecessor to Marvel Comics was, I believe, Timely Comics. So the when Captain America, Human Torch, and Submariner were published in the like 40s and 50s, it was under the Timely Comics umbrella. So let's see. Dave has something to say here. I don't know much about the old comics. It looked like Dick Tracy was in there. Yeah, well, that was the style back then. It was the style back then, Dave. That was kind of the style back then, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So, let's see now. The return to okay, kind of failed. We already saw that. Um, so Marvel abandoned its superhero plans until Stan resurrected them again in the early 60s. Yeah, so they're talking about when Marvel was still known as Timely Comics. That's when like Captain America, Human Torch, and even the Golden Age Human Torch. I don't know if that was the same Human Torch that was with the Fantastic. I don't think it was the same one. I think it was a different Human Torch and Submariner. So um, let's see, resurrect them again. Anyway, in this run, he's Cap. He's fighting commies. Dixon stated. So, and here's some of the panels of that as well. See right there. And before I continue on with the article here, I just need to go off camera for just a moment. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Like Pickle's got something to say here. I wish we had the original style comics the way it was drawn with modern stories. Yeah, that would be kind of nice because I've seen the artwork comparing the older style to the older style. Some people would argue is cartoony, but I kind of like that style. It's like cartoons in print form, basically, the way comics were. But nowadays, a lot of the artistry is more realistic looking. So excuse me again, sorry. Let's see now. Back to the article here. Dixon continued, but when they returned in the 70s to this storyline to kind of try to explain why there was a Cap in the 50s, even though the Cap that we knew, the rebooted Cap we knew, was on ice, literally, after escaping the Nazis and Bucky dying and all that stuff. So where did this Captain America and new Bucky suddenly come from? Well, we know that DC. The thing I do know that in terms of like DC Comics, right there, they kind of handled that issue by just basically placing the like creating the whole multiverse bit. That's how we got the whole Earth One and Earth Two there in DCU is to try to differentiate between the Golden Age comics and the Silver Age comics. We got the whole multiverse with DC with Detective Comics. I'd love to see a storyline where Steve Rogers is old and determined to be retired, but he can't help but do heroic stuff from time to time. Kind of acting more as a part time hero. Um, there, Dave. That might be interesting. Kind of like the Undertaker in the last few years in professional wrestling, where his schedule is kind of going down, down, down. So they wrote a story in which this guy was a mouth breathing right wing caricature, sort of a stand in, an allegory for Joe McCarthy in the House on Un American activities. And as usual, the stories were written without doing any actual research into the communist scare period, the Red Scare period, and the 1950s. Cap is portrayed as a villain. I've always thought that was wrong, Dixon said. He then went on to provide a brief history lesson detailing that the Soviets did indeed try to undermine the United States of America. And as we know from the Venona papers, it was really wrong because they there really were communists here in the United States trying to overthrow our government. Some people might even argue there are communists today in our American government. They're just acting more openly. Uh, Seeding sedition. Um, what they mean in that phrasing, seeding sedition, basically trying to convince people that, basically trying to do what Obama and his ilk were doing the last, the 8 years prior to Trump being elected president. Hollywood types and people in academia and even people in our government who held actual military rank in the NKVD in the Soviet Union, they weren't just sympathizers or informers. They were actual spies in the pay of the Kremlin. And all that really happened. Betrayers. Betrayers. So 50s cap was right as we know now from papers handed over after the fall of the USSR. In the interest of, well, I think of should have been put in there, of transparency, the United States government was allowed access, and the United States media, the whole world media, was allowed access to KGB and NKVD papers, um, proving that many of the things that people were told were just crazy conspiracy looking for communists under the rug kind of things actually were true, Dixon stated. Sound familiar? Does that kind of sound familiar to you guys? Sounds kind of like what's going on with the whole QAnon thing and stuff like that. And with a lot of the lefties sitting there, basically trying to reluctant here, uh, basically trying to pull the same garbage they did all that long ago. It's typical Solinsky tactics right there. So, anyways, moving on here then. Dixon then detailed he and Graham Nolan pitched a Captain America miniseries exploring the character in the 50s. He explained, Graham Nolan and I, in the wake of the Venona papers, proposed doing a miniseries that would explore this period of Cap 2.0 in the 50s and basically redeem this character from the 70s portrayal. And I think you can guess how far that pitch went. I'm kind of curious when he made this pitch. Was this pitch he made recent, or was it sometime back or something like that? I'd be very interested when he made this pitch. And in that background, you see Captain America dies today. Here's some more. His touch is death. While Marvel Comics might have rejected Dixon and Nolan's pitch for anti-communist Captain America, Dixon is still churning out comics left and right. In fact, a prolific Batman writer, or I'm sorry, in fact, the prolific Batman writer has a Patreon account in collaboration with Arcaven Comics, where backers can receive digital issues of Dixon's Avalon comics and help support his creation of comics for webtoons. Dixon told Bounding into Comics that Patreon is a commitment to produce a lot of creator-owned material for Arcaven. In effect, Vox is unleashing me on a line of comics for print, digital, and on webtoons, he added. Blood, the graphic novel. Yeah, and I think we actually did I remember, I think we actually read the story on this a few weeks ago. Um, Along with the Patreon account, Dixon's Blood, the graphic novel, will be available to purchase on Amazon on October 20th. It's currently available for pre order. Oh, okay. Well, if you guys wanted to try to catch that, October 20th is today. So, hey, that's an interesting thing we found out. Chuck Dixon's Blood, the graphic novel, is going on sale on Amazon today. So there you go. He's also adapting John Ringo's Black Tide Rising into a graphic novel. The Indiegogo for the campaign was recently fully funded. There are still 7 days left to back the project. That was as of last week, of course. Would you be interested in seeing Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan tackle Captain America as he takes on the communist? Well, what would you guys say about that? Let's see. Okay, I need to get going now tonight. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to go so early, um, Pickle. But thank you for dropping in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the like and share. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here. Let's see now. Good night, Pickle. Um, I'm always cool with cat fighting commies. Yeah, I got to go off camera for just a sec, guys. So I'll be right back. Okay. So, anybody else got anything they want to say about this article before I move on? Okay, so I guess with that being said, um, let's move on to the next story. The next story is actually going to be one featuring Chuck Dixon too. Um, there's the other Chuck Dixon story that I kind of caught my attention here. Prolific Batman writer Chuck Dixon reveals DC Comics editorial wanted to change Bane's name. Oh, I got to hear about why this is going on. This is going to be interesting. They wanted to change his name. That's wonder what was wrong with his name that they felt he needed to change. Excuse me, one more moment, guys. Sorry. Hmm. So it looks like we're back up to 5 people again. It looks like. Good to see. 4 on YouTube. 5. Okay, back down to 4. Okay, so here we go. Prolific Batman writer Chuck Dixon and the creator of Batman villain Bane, alongside Graham Nolan, recently revealed that DC Comics editorial wanted to change the villain's name. There's, I guess, a picture of Bane right there. In his most recent Ask Chuck Dixon video, Dixon was asked a question by Barry Mitchell. if you wouldn't have come up with the name Bane, what else would have what else would have called the character? Yes, what else would you have called the character? Dixon responded, I have no idea. As I've said before, Bane's working name before we knew anything about me, um, or before we knew much about him, was Doc Toxic. Doc Toxic, okay. Doc Tox, as in Doc Ock. Oh boy, okay. And that's the name that would show up in the whiteboards and in our outline notes as we were getting into nightfall. He reiterated, I don't know what I would have called him. There's Bane Conquest right there. Um, Dixon then details how superhero and villain names were being made in the early 90s. He explained at the time it was really popular to combine names. You had Death Wolf and things like that. They would just take two words, slam them together till I think Rob Liefeld used all those combinations and there weren't any left. So basically, what they were saying is they were using a bunch of compound words and portmanteaus. And the difference between a compound word and a compound word is two separate words that combine to one word. Portmanteaus are basically jammed together to make one word. So um, that's kind of the difference between those two terms, just in case you didn't know. I was determined to I was determined not to name him that kind of image character kind of name. So I went to the thesaurus and looked up evil, and there were a whole bunch of words synonymous with evil, and I picked out Bane. He continued, Bane, as in you probably have heard the expression of somebody being a bane to one's existence. Batman Vengeance of Bane, 64-page special, number one, 1993. Let's see. Dixon then added, which, as I've told you before in previous videos, the editors hated that name and told me they would come up with something better. Well, they never did, and within 3 days, everybody was just calling him Bane. So Chuck's idea eventually won out there, huh? Let's see what you guys might be saying about this. Okay. I've got $1 on the idea that it has to do with politics. Oh, you mean Chuck Dixon? Yeah, well, from what I've seen of some of his interviews, yeah, but he's not the only one we're going to talk about. He's got some issues with the current woke crowd in comics. I just I just lost a bet with no one. uh, plus two sword of evil's bane is an adventurer's best friend. Okay. See now. Okay. Heading back to the. Okay. He then circled back to the original question and stated, "So yeah, I don't know. I really didn't have any second choices. I landed on Bane and said that's the one. And lucky me, I didn't come up with some D, well, dumb a, dumb rear name that everybody would forget. In the video, Dixon also discusses how Marvel Comics rejected Graham Nolan, his and Graham Nolan's pitch for an anti-communist Captain America to rehabilitate the 1950s Captain America that was maligned by Marvel Comics in the 70s. Okay, so that may have been recent. That may have been recent, which doesn't surprise me now that we think about it. Because ideologically, currently, the left is very communist. So um, he also goes on to discuss his ongoing Levancade novel series, which is being adapted into a live action series by Sylvester Stallone, aka Rocky Balboa. Um, he detailed he's a re- he's a read a number of the scripts, and even revealed who he imagines playing Cade. Levon Cade, the complete series. Chuck Dixon. Spoiler alert, the answer is the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift's Lucas Black. Let's see. Let's see now. Okay. Dixon explained he's got this kind of Steve McQueen physicality. He's a guy who looks like he's capable in any situation of handling himself or handling anything. He looks at home behind any car, with any gun, with any motorcycle, things like that. That kind of Steve McQueen vibe of a guy who knows what he's doing. Let's see if anybody's got anything to say since last checking. Oh wow, we have actually. Yeah, hello, Cheney. I guess that's how you pronounce that. Oh 07. Ah, let's see, Cheney. Hello, Cheney Gerhardt. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody's made you feel welcome thus far. They really screwed up Cap with the recent story direction. Hmm. Hello, Cheney. Welcome to the stream, Cheney. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to comment. Um, hopefully you are liking the coverage so far. That's correct. And the '07 is a salute. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I didn't know what that was. And if you can, if you like the stream, if you can like and share the stream to where we can see if we can get some more people in here, that'd be appreciated as well. Um, yeah. So hopefully, I hope that you do like the stream thus far. Hope everybody's making you feel welcome. So, anyways, back to the article here. The other plus is he's got the accent. He's got the Alabama Southern drawl. That is his natural speaking voice. And I think he'd be awesome. He's the perfect age to play Levon Cade. Um, he's in his mid 30s, mid to late 30s, and right in the zone. I guess this is what the guy looks like right here. Dixon would also go on to explain he would cast Nick Nolte as Uncle Fern. While Dixon isn't doing his Ask Chuck Dixon series, he's still writing comic books. Um, let's see. Dixon has multiple projects being crowdfunded on Indiegogo, including Impossible Stars, alongside writer Richard Meyer and artist Renzo Rodriguez. So here's some of the artwork here, some of the stories that Chuck is doing. He's also adapting John Ringo's Black Tide Rising into a graphic novel. Dixon is also working with Richard Meyer and Graham Nolan on The Expendables Go to Hell. Um, Outside of Indiegogo projects, he's collaborating with Vox Day's Arc Archaven Comics, where the two have launched a Patreon account for various comic initiatives for webtoons, as well as a commitment to produce a lot of creator owned material for Archaven. And of course, we kind of went over that in the last article, too, the article we just read. Here's, of course, again, showing us Chuck Dixon's Blood, the graphic novel, right here. Story about werewolves. He, of course, and here we go again. He also has Blood, the graphic novel, coming out, and we said that already. It's currently on pre-order. What do you make? What do you make of the fact that DC Comics editor wanting to change Bane's name? So yeah, what you guys have anything to say about that? Um, let's see. Big Boss '07. Hey, just got off heading home. Hey, Anonymity, welcome to the stream. Evening, Anna. Evening, Dave. So, hey, what? So, what do you guys think of? What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the editors wanting to change Bane's name to something else? Kind of funny. They wanted to change it, but yet they had absolutely no idea what they wanted to change it to. They just knew they hated Chuck Dixon's idea for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to go off camera for just a moment here. Yeah, we got. Let's see. Anybody have anything to say on that about the editors wanting to change Bane's name? Okay, with that being said, then I guess we'll move on to the next story. Then last main story of the night here. The other thing I want to again, all these stories are kind of interconnected, and some of you are gonna know some of these names here. Justified actor Nick Searcy blasts Greg Pak, Mark Wade, Ron Mars, Cole Bunn, Heather Antos, Jody Hauser, and other comic creatives as fascist. Oh, lovely. Look at this, everybody. Somebody's actually calling out some of these comic creatives as fascist. Don't change existing characters, make your own new characters. If you're in the space in a creative role, you should be able to come up with a new character. Yeah, but even as Yellow Flash has put it, a lot of these creatives are creatively bankrupt. Oh, wait. Okay. It feels like they don't have the ability to make things for themselves. Yeah, I think A lot of them come off as like spoiled brats. Let's see. If the shoe fits, they can't create, only destroy. Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing. But anyways, so let's get into this article and see what Nick Searcy has to say to these SJW clowns. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm just gonna go off camera for a moment. Alrighty then. Okay, so here we go. Actor Nick Searcy, known for his roles in Fried Green Tomatoes, Justified, and The Shape of Water, blasted a number of comic book creatives, including Mark Waid, Greg Pak, and Heather Antos, as fascist. And a lot of these people have called other people fascist. Now they're being called the fascists. So Searcy responded to a tweet from former Marvel Comics and DC Comics colorist Brett R. Smith, who pointed out that this handful of comic book creatives were holding a virtual fundraiser to support former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris run for President and Vice President of the United States. Smith wrote on Twitter, Marvel and DC artists, writers, and editors hold a virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The mainstream comic book industry is no different than Hollywood. Of course, I think I don't know if it's everybody in this stream, but who's watching this stream right now. But I would say we've probably known that for a while. What would you guys say to that? Would you say the current comic book creatives are the same as Hollywood in terms of their thought process and ideology? Let's see. He added, it's a place of coercive groupthink and of blacklists of those who don't comply, which we have been seeing quite a bit. And I guess here's the example of the tweet. Biden for President Victory Fund, virtual comic panel, uh, and then they show all these names. Chris Sotomayor. I wonder if he's any relation to Sonia Sotomayor, the Associate Justice. Let's see. Look at all those names right there. As you can see in Smith's tweet, a virtual comic panel will be moderated by Bob Harrison and will feature Mark Waid, Ron Mars, Greg Pak, Peter Krause, Heather Antos, Chris Sotomayor, Jamal Eagle, Jody Hauser, David Gallagher, Andrew Dalhouse, Becca Caden, Rick Doak, Richard Clark, Pete Pantazis, Steve Orlando, Cullen Bum, and Alex Sanchez. Look at it. They got a guy in there named Pantazis. Pantazis. Doesn't that remind you of another word? The panel will take place on Thursday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern. That'd be 3 p.m. Pacific, of course. Jody Hauser promoted the panel on Twitter, writing, this Thursday, I'm one small part of this massive comic panel for Biden being held online at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. There are panelists from every part of the comic process. So something for everyone. This. I don't know if that was just a typo or if they really did. It really did. And it looks like we did get a few comments here. Ew. Yep. Um, it's apparent they are. Um, to the tune of "Everything is Awesome" from the Lego Movie. Everything is fascist. I didn't watch it. I don't know the actual music there. Everything is wrong. If it might offend me, I haven't actually watched. I don't know if that's actually how that goes, but the um, authoritarian identitarians have infected leadership in these spaces, especially those based in New York and yeah, California, which is where I'm from, Cheney. I agree with you there. I agree with you there. This is, of course, this is basically why Trump was elected in the first place. Try to deal with these people. Be right back. Okay, Dave. Um, I know only a few of those names, but they are lame and falling at and failing at the human race. Hmm. Hey, I'm back. Hey, welcome back there, Dave. Just in time to hear Mike not know everything is awesome. It's like you're from a third world country. Well, I never watched Lego the movie, so or whatever that movie you were referring to. So hey, granted, I may know a lot of things, but I've always said I don't know everything. I just know usually at least a little bit about a lot of things. It doesn't mean I know everything. He's from California, so close enough. Yep. Yeah. Dream of fornication. Dream of fornication. Little parody of Red Hot Chili Peppers there. Let's see now. And of course, there's Jody Hauser's tweet again. Chris Sotomayor added, there are plenty of donation tiers with great opportunities to take advantage of. In order to attend the panel, you must at least purchase or contribute a $50 ticket, of course. Other levels include a $250 ticket, a $1,000 ticket, a $2,800 ticket, and a $5,600 ticket. Oh yeah, like anybody. Well, okay, maybe a few lefties probably gonna pay that, but I sure as I sure as heck am not going to pay something like that, and I doubt any of you would either. I'm just guessing though. California, California dreaming. Yeah, California dreaming, California. Anyways, ha, yeah, went the wrong way there. So, anyways, the highest contribution level gives donors access to the general admission, the VIP event, a one on one video chat with one of the big named panel guests, and a writing critique or portfolio review. Here she responded to Smith's tweet and described those participating in the panel as fascist. He wrote, these are the fascists. Agree with them or you are out of the business. Amen, brother. Searcy wasn't the only one to respond to Smith's tweet. Former deputy assistant to the president and strategist, or yeah, assistant to the president and strategist to President Donald Trump, Sebastian Gorka, referred to those on the panel as snowflakes. Snowflakes all. What do you make of Searcy and Gorka's comments regarding these comic book professionals fundraising for former Vice President Joe Biden? Well, you guys have some answers for that? That was the last of the main articles we'll go through tonight. So, um, excuse me a moment while I go off camera here. Let's see. All right. I think that. Oh, one on one. Yeah. They're calling out the flakes. Yep. Yep. That's kind of what they're doing. Yeah. You know, yeah. I don't think anybody really wants to spend any quality time with those individuals. We have 7 people in here tonight. Hello, seventh person. Welcome to the stream. Oh, let's see now. Yeah, they are calling out the flakes. Yep. So that's some interesting stuff we went through there. Chuck Dixon had some very interesting things to say. So when I first read the Captain America story there, I wasn't sure if they were actually they said that that was recently that they pitched the anti-communist Captain America to them or not. But I guess now it's more indicative that they in fact did. So so that was pretty interesting. Um, and then we got something more to say here. Like, just got home, going to make some food. Okay. Yeah. Um, let's see. So some interesting stuff in those articles. Um, so aside from that stuff, is there anything else you guys might want to ask me? Anything else you guys maybe want to ask about? Like, think maybe anything I can answer in terms of anything you've been wondering or anything like that? Dream of commie fornication. Let's see now. Oh, here we go. Cheney's got something to say here. Great stream. Glad to have something to listen to and watch as I was sent out on a late night job. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope you'll consider coming back and joining us more often, my friend. I always try to look into the Blizzard men hating writers. Not quite as familiar with the Blizzard stuff. Um, you know, um, but we do talk a lot about classic comics and classic cartoons, and so, you know, went through a couple of stories last night in the anime. Um, I got nothing. Fun story, especially since one did an interview with a white male 2 months before the story broke. Um, I'll be back. I was your 100th sub. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Cheney. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad I got over 100 subs. Yeah, you were on Nick's stream the other night, right? Last week. You were probably there. Because I think that night I actually got like a whole bunch of subs there from that. Like 13 people sign up. Nice. Yep. 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 So I hope to see you on more often here because now tomorrow night I'll actually be going over a couple of stories from like the Bounding into Comics television section because there was a guy, I guess they said the showrunner for The Boys who had some interesting things to say. So we might go over kind of stuff he said in those there were like two articles. One of them where he's claiming that Marvel movies are supposedly fueling people's interest in Trump and the like. So yes, I'm from Nick. Yeah, well, thank you for subscribing and coming in and joining us. Um, let's see. And I don't know, like if you like, like what I don't like. So what I cover is I cover anime, cartoons, comics, manga, and pro wrestling. I got a couple profile playlists that I do. One is called Voices Big and Small, where I profile anime dub voice actors, not the ones from Kick Vic, just people who I believe deserve more patronage and more attention than those from Kick Vic. Of course, we did a story on somebody last night. Um, even though I don't know if he was Kick Vic or not, but he is apparently somebody who's kind of caught in the bit of a pickle, as it were. Um, and also Squared Circle Calendar, where it's a historical retrospective professional wrestling. So, if you want, I have a bunch of playlists on my channel too. If you want to check out some of the other stuff I've done um, from the past, and and if you miss portions of the stream or the stream, I keep them up so you can always go back and look over news items and what have you. We actually had an interview with the Knuckleheads back on August the 21st that went pretty well, and then I actually have them returning a week from this Friday on the 30th. So um, hopefully I'll see you more often though in here, Cheney. Um, I'm also appreciative of everybody who comes in and hangs out and talks and stuff like that. You know. So, apparently Nick, uh, that didn't come up on StreamYards. A Reddit thread where someone drew a scene from Endgame, Infinity War as a Silver Age comic. Um, and you put the link up. Okay. So I didn't see, Dave, I didn't see that on my StreamYard. Okay, there it is. This Reddit thread where someone drew a scene from Endgame, Infinity War as a Silver Age comic. And so I guess if you guys want to go check that out. Um, we're coming up on an hour and 10 minutes. Um, let's see now. So had some comics there. So, anything else on your guys' mind tonight? Excuse me one more time. I got to go off camera here. In fact, let's see about that. Oh, see if I hopefully I don't get. Okay. All right. So this is. It's just a neat image. Okay. So here. So there it is, right there, guys. Neat image. Yeah, that does look kind of cool there. That does kind of look cool, Dave. Some interesting stuff there. All right, guys. Well, I've kind of run out of things to talk about aside from this day in each history. Cheney, so usually towards the end of my streams, um, one of the things I do, which is a little bit more, one of the more unique things about my streams is I take a look back at, I have a This Day in History segment. I call it This Day in Niche History because I focus in on, of course, niche topics. So, um, let's see. So, unless anybody's got anything else they want to add to the conversation or anything like that, are you guys ready for This Day in Niche History? Give me a moment. Oh, we got, oh, goody. Oh, let's see. Yeah. What happened today, Mike? Uh, what happened today, Mike? Um, Fire away. Okay, so today being Tuesday, October the 20th, 2020, let's take a look back at this day in each history. Let me just review here for myself real quick here so I know the exact order to go into. Okay, so now with that being said, let's see what happened on this day in each history. Okay, the first thing I'd like to do is I would like to wish a happy birthday to a happy 50th birthday to Chavo Guerrero Jr. And let me see what the other guy's real name was. I'd like to wish a happy 50th birthday to Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Yoshihiro Yamazaki, better known to Japanese wrestling fans as the Fourth Tiger Mask. On this date in They I on this date in 1970, they were both born into this world. So happy 50th birthday to Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Tiger Mask number 4, real name Yoshiaki Yamazaki. So with that, let's move on to the next bit of history here. Okay. Um, Right. I believe this will be it right here. Okay. On this date in 2004, which was 16 years ago today, DC Comics released the fifth issue of Identity Crisis, titled Father's Day. This is part of of course, the Identity Crisis crossover that eventually led to like Infinite Crisis before we got to Final Crisis and all that. Um, so on this date, 16 years ago, Identity Crisis number 5 would go on sale on newsstands on this day 16 years ago. So there you go there. Moving on to the next piece of history here, which actually happened 1 year. Let's see, before I do that, looks like Action Toy Channel has something to say here. It's been a fun stream. Yeah, I'd say we have had a pretty good conversation, ATC. Thank you for being here. So many crises. Yeah, well, yeah, you had the crisis on Infinite Earths, you had Infinite Crisis, you had Final Crisis, Identity Crisis, you had Zero Hour as well. You had all that stuff in terms of trying to like just fix a lot of the continuity issues of the DCU that with the multiverse and all that. That's what a lot of those crises are all about. Trying to figure out just exactly how to put all that together into one simple stream of events. So, anyways, moving on now then to 1 year after the Identity crisis. Um, on this date in 2005, the anime Rosen Maiden Promenade from Nomad Studio would make its debut in Japan on this date on TBS, on the Tokyo Broadcasting Station, as well as Kid Station and a couple others. So on this date in 2005 would debut Rosen Maiden Tramen, the anime Rosen Maiden Tramen, part of the Rosen Maiden franchise. Uh, just in case you guys don't know, Rosen Maiden was basically about these dolls that kind of came to life. Um, kind of a darker, is a bit of a darker. There are times it's dark, a bit of a darker, but you actually had dolls coming to life. Not as dark as, let's say, Chucky, but you know, but but there's some interesting stuff there. So with that, so on this date 15 years ago today, Rosen Maiden Tramen would make its debut, would premiere on in Japan. And finally, on this date in 2010, so we talked about some people being born in this world on this date. Well, in 2010, 10 years ago today, somebody passed. Bob Guccione, an American photographer and publisher, who basically made some cameo appearances as himself or voicing himself in a couple of Duckman episodes, Pig Amok and Love, Anger, Kvetching. He passed away at the age of 79. So Bob Guccione, the American photographer and publisher who voiced himself in Duckman, in a couple of episodes of Duckman, passed away on this date 10 years ago at the age of 79. I don't know if any of you watched Duckman. I didn't watch it either, but if any of you did, he was in it. So yeah, all the supers need to just chill. All the supers need to just chill. Super. Okay. Love Duckman. Yeah. Well, now I just told you that one of the guys who was in it who had a couple of in Pigamuck, basically voiced himself in Pigamuck and Love, Anger, Kvetching, passed away on this date 10 years ago at the age of 79. Um, so anyways, guys, well, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Really appreciate you guys coming in. I hope I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Probably talk about a couple of television stories from about a couple of things. See what this guy Eric Kripke had to say recently on some matters. So, and I hope if any of you are going to head over to Crows or Nick stream tonight, I hope you guys will do a bit of a mic raid, get us a little more promotion there. With that being said, guys, I hope to see you guys tomorrow night, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.